Hello, how you guys doing?
That's my question. How are you doing?
What's up? Oh, doing great. Got a couple stitches. Doctor did a hell of a job. But besides that, just a couple bumps and bruises. And, it's great to be back in the win column. It's always great talking to the media. That means you got the win. So couldn't be more excited.
So we have to ask, I think most people assume you are going to get fight of the night. It was an amazing fight. How many pina coladas are you going to buy with that $50,000?
So this is the third press conference I've been at now where they've asked me about my fight bonus, and I'm 0 for 2. So I hope it's not a media curse that they always say, what are you going to do with your bonus? So, I'm going to, obviously, you get paid each fight. I haven't had a fight in 7 months. So, I'm going to enjoy the honeymoon. I can't wait to hang out with my wife and just to get back and take a couple weeks off. But I'm just excited about, getting back in there and fighting again. I love this. I think I'm meant to be in the top 15, meant to have these big, huge fights, have these crazy wars. I can't wait to watch the tape and kind of, pick apart, what we did good, what we did bad. But yeah, it's going to be a nice little honeymoon, a little break from all this.
So I know you haven't really, it's been a few minutes, you haven't looked at your fight or anything, but can you tell us now, do you know anything that you feel like you did good and anything you feel like you did bad?
I felt like my right hand was on. I landed that right hand early. I definitely could have finished it earlier. We were doing a lot of I would do a lot of taking the back, but not necessarily getting the rear naked choke finish. We just kind of go through the motions, and it's just little stuff like that where I felt like I could have got out of there faster with a rear naked choke finish earlier. So it's just little stuff that I'm going to pick apart. And he's a tough opponent. He's very hard to put away. He doesn't get finished that often. So to get the win, I'm happy with it. But there's always things to improve on. And after a win, after a loss, you have to go back and get better because everyone studies so much film at this level that they're going to watch that and pick me apart too.
Do you feel like the fight could have or should have been stopped sooner than it was?
Honestly, I don't know. I have to go back and watch it, but I almost thought it was weird when the doctor kept looking at him. Again, I'm gonna have to watch the tape, but I thought it was weird when the doctor was looking at him because I'm like he seems fine to me, even though his face was kind of messed up. But I've seen people fight through worse, so I'm just in there to fight, and I know how to finish fights. I know it's you gotta keep hitting him, or he's got to go unconscious some way, or he's got to get a tap out. So I'm never expecting the doctor to stop it. It's usually my job, but I think he did a good job because he wasn't going to win that fight at that point.
And was there anything about him or his game plan that surprised you?
No, not really. We've watched his film. He's very good at what he does. He's got a good straight left. He's got good kicks. I was a little bit surprised because every time, John Anik's always like, oh man, his coach says he's got the hardest left kicks. And I felt like the first left kick he really hit me with, I didn't think it was that bad. I actually kind of smiled. I was like, oh man, if that's it, this is going to be a good one. But then he came back and dropped me with a left hand, so I probably shouldn't have laughed it up. So yeah, it was a good fight.
And do you feel like you got a top 5 SportsCenter performance out of that?
I don't know. Probably not, because just how it finished. You want to see that highlight reel knockout. Maybe if I would have finished it right away. I said something at the end, but maybe if they put the body of the fight together. But to end like that, it was kind of just I just kept hitting him over and over and over again. Not exactly like a one-punch knockout that I was hoping for.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Billy, as difficult as it was to finish him when you controlled the back a couple of times, you said that you heard, that they told him to protect himself or they could stop it.
Yeah.
At what point did you just switch? You said, okay, I'm gonna stop trying to get the rear naked choke. I'm just gonna wail on it, see if I can stop this.
Yeah, I think it was when the ref started saying it. There was a couple times. I think it was in the second round.
Yeah.
In the second round, when I got on top of him, I was in half guard, and I started punching him, and I heard my coach, Matt Arroyo, and I heard the ref say, protect yourself, and I'm like, oh man, they're gonna stop it right here. And then he did a good job fighting out of that, but I knew I did some damage. And then at the ending sequence, when, in that position, I'm looking for a choke. Those punches are just to set up the choke.
Yeah.
But then I landed some shots, and then, Mark said, protect yourself, and that's when I was like, all right, I think he's close to finishing this, so I got to turn it up now.
And obviously you had 2 big periods of control in the first and the third. You're still facing an opponent that can drop you at any time, right? He's still even in the third, exhausted. He got still punching hard, still drop you at the beginning of the third.
Yep.
How difficult is it to deal with someone who's okay, I've been controlling him for some periods of time during the fight, but he can still stop me at any moment.
Yeah, it was funny. I went into that third round thinking, I was like, just don't let him drop you, because I knew he still had power, and I wanted to, use my footwork a little bit more. I heard my coach Dan Rawlings calling out, use your footwork and don't stand in front of him like I did, because he's got a good left hand. We studied that a lot. So, he caught me with it. It didn't really hurt or anything. It was just one of those kind of knocked me off balance. And then when he was in my guard, I got excited because I thought I was gonna, get the triangle finish. But then it was just right back to the standing up. He did a good job fighting out of that. So I was never really hurt, but he, obviously dropped me. I think it probably made it more of an exciting fight. Hopefully that helps my bonus chances. So, good for him.
I appreciate it, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just one quick one. In terms of, you've had fights that you've won because of doctor stopping because of strikes, but that had to be pretty unique, getting the actual strikes from while you're in back control. When you think about, when you look back on the fight, is that something that you think is unique and that you're kind of proud of? Or is it just the culmination of everything else that you did that you're more proud of, just overall how dominant you were in this fight?
I'm happy that I got the finish. I would have loved to do it the first 30 seconds of the fight, of course. And I'm probably going to think about it more. I should have got the rear naked choke, especially taking his back twice and having that body lock. That's a position that I get in practice quite a bit. So I'm happy with the finish, and I'm happy with the overall work. Finishing it from the back is it's unique, I guess. I don't know how excited I am about it because, I wish I would have choked him out, honestly, earlier.
And then looking at the overall, that performance, where do you think a win like that places you in the division?
After the Tucker loss, I thought I was going to be, fighting for a top 15, and that's why I called out Rosa after. Nothing against him. I think he's, a great fighter. He has more fights than me, and those are the type of fights I want, is those veterans. Mowgli had 10 fights. This was my 5th fight. Charles is one of those guys. He's had, I think, over 10 fights, and he's an exciting fighter. So I think one more fight, and then I can start really calling out guys in the top 15. I think this is the first fight I could actually call people out, because you don't want to be that guy who has like your debut and you start calling out top guys. So whether Rosa wants to take the fight or not, I'll fight whoever Dana and the UFC thinks I'm ready for. If they want me to fight a top 15 guy, I think I'm ready.
How do you celebrate the victory?
Oh man, well, me and Matt, my boy Matt Frivola, Steamroller, we're gonna go out tonight, probably have some drinks, have some fun, and then of course I'm going on my honeymoon next week. So I can't wait to hang out with my wife, have a few drinks on an island, and let my body heal up. Stay away from MMA for about a week, and then I pride myself on being a hard worker. I'll get back to the gym. Our coaches will sit down, we'll watch the fight, we'll pick apart what I need to work on, and we'll get back to it, and you'll see me again this year.
Did you talk to the wife already? Because for the most part, you did a pretty good job. You're going on your honeymoon. You look actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you talked with her and told her that you're all right for the honeymoon?
Yeah, she texted me. I haven't gotten back to her yet, just because I've been talking to you guys. But this isn't the first time she's seen me with stitches. I actually had stitches about 2 weeks ago. It was the same exact cut. We were worried about not being able to take the fight, but we got cleared by a couple doctors, so we said let's do it, and it paid off, man. I had a lot of opportunities to back out of this fight, and I'm so glad I didn't. It was my gut instinct said take the fight, and I had a couple stitches. I'll live with that any day. Thank you.
Hey, Billy Q right here. So you talked about the next one you want to fight in a full arena of fans. I know there were a couple here tonight at the Apex. I mean, they're coming back to Vegas. They're going to be maybe New York, Fight Island. I mean, where do you want to end up next? Which fans do you want to fight in front of?
I would love, I heard, I don't know about the Madison Square Garden fight. That would be a dream come true. I got to watch my teammate fight there. It was just amazing. I love the atmosphere. I grew up in Buffalo, which is kind of far from there, still New York. But that would be a dream come true to fight in Madison Square Garden. I would take Vegas any day. I don't know if I can get my coaches on board for Fight Island again, because we already made that trip, and it's a long trip. But wherever they want me to go, I would like to stay in America if I can, because I've only had that one DC fight, and I've had 5 fights in the UFC, and I've only had 1 fight with an actual crowd. So my whole family, I got a huge family. I got a ton of supporters that want to go out and come watch me fight. And I love the Apex. It's amazing hearing your coach. I hear everything there, but there's nothing like that huge UFC crowd. We went to, the Phoenix crowd, and it was just, crazy how loud everyone was, and I definitely missed that.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Good job on the win, Billy. A little bit of a homecoming, because Dana White Contender Series guy. Now you're here. Tell us a little bit about that, your journey thus far, and how you keep climbing up the ladder.
Yeah, so it started off with really my introduction to the UFC was The Ultimate Fighter in 2015. So I think I've grown tremendously. I really didn't know what I was doing back then, and I've grown tremendously, in the last 6 years. And I felt weirdly comfortable today. This is my 5th time fighting here. Started off with the Contender Series where I was super nervous, and then we had the Alpha Ginger fight, then the Kyle Nelson fight, then the Tucker fight that were all in this same arena, or in this, this Apex. So I've, in my whole pro career, my amateur career, I've never fought in one place more than the Apex. So I feel at home here. I feel really comfortable. If they do want me to fight here again, of course I'll do it because, it feels like home field advantage. But I would love that environment with that sold out, stadium.
And lastly, without giving away too many secrets, if you could elaborate, what have you done that's noticeably better to improve your game, to evolve, to progress, and start to have even the confidence to call guys out?
Yeah, well, I just think I think it's just the experience, and I've gotten better as a fighter. I've gotten to the point where I used to watch the UFC, and I was like, man, everyone's so good. Like this guy's so good, this guy's so good. And I think I've gotten to the point now where I've trained with a bunch of these guys. I work with them. I've seen them all fight. I've seen them fight live. I've beaten a bunch of them now, and they're all human. They're all just like us. So I feel like now that I'm in the top group of the featherweights, where when I first got in the UFC, it was like, give me the easiest, hopefully give me the most winnable fight. And now it's like, all right, give me guys that we can put on an exciting fight that'll get me to that next wave, that top group. So I think all that experience has really gotten me here.
Perfect, man. Congrats on the win and enjoy your honeymoon.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All set? All right, thank you guys.